That is a nice view, and if you were a Game of Thrones fan, right down there is where Sean Bean chopped that guy's head off in season 1, but we're not going down there. We're heading up in this direction. We're going for a little bit of an adventure run. I've got a backpack on me. I've got a brand new tent in it that I'm hoping to test. The tent weighs 440 grams, which is just absolutely insane. So I'm going to go do about a 6 mile out and back and find a spot where I might come back in the future to camp and set up. But first of all, I want to show you something up here that's about 3,000 years old. Hi sheep! It's not the sheep. I've no idea how old the sheep are. It's this. This. Okay, it doesn't look that impressive, but this is the remnants of a Neolithic fort. If you look, you can just about see the boundary, see the ring. This is a ring fort, so about 3,000 to 4,000 years old. And that's not the only thing that's really old up here, because sort of about at the furthest point of this run, there's something else that's been sitting there for a few thousand years, and it's quite funny looking. Just in case anybody's wondering what shoes I'm wearing the Topo Athletic Pursuit. I've had these shoes for well over a year and haven't really used them because they're not super cushions. They're more of a slightly tighter fitting barefoot style shoe. This may be better for training like this, where you want your shoe to kind of not tight but be snug to your feet, so you're not going to slip and slide around in them. Look at this. Woo. Whoop. Ugh. Scat Hill. That's where we're heading. Scat or Scott Hill is up in this direction. So this route is part of the Antrim Hills Way, which in turn is part of the International Appalachian Trail. Would you believe it? So if you manage to finish the actual AT and fancy a few more miles, there's I think there's another few hundred miles of it in Ireland. Hi sheep, you fluffy headed ecological disasters, you. If you're wondering why there's no trees up here, the sheep ate them all. Sort of. I've lost. It's embarrassing how bad I am at running uphill these days. But it doesn't help that my exercise and just asthma has come back with a vengeance. And I forgot my inhaler, so my lungs feel like the size of a modelling balloon. But I've decided what I'm going to do today is anytime I come to a hill, I'm just going to run it. And when I can't run, I'll stop, I'll rest, and then I'll run. So do a little bit of progressive interval training, I'm going to call it. It's progressive because you actually progress. This is the microphone that I use when I'm running. Look at the size of it. The DJI Mini, and it connects to the DJI Action 5 without any other adapters. That's the little microphone connected, so the wind should stop. Let's run a bit. Can I get all the way up there? Let's try it. Come on, come on. Whew. Yes! I did it! But now, I feel like I'm dying. Why did I not bring my inhaler? It's not too windy today. It's maxing out at about 9-10 miles an hour. I got this little wind meter, it's absolutely tiny. It might look warm and sunny today, but it's about 8 degrees Celsius and quite a cold wind blowing over, so my hands are going cold without the gloves. That over yonder is the first hill I'm heading to. That's Scott Hill, or Scat Hill, depending how you pronounce it. Over there, right over there, where those people are, is the spot that is responsible in a large way for my running fitness going through the floor. Because it was up here one day about, I think 4 years ago, I was checking my Instagram messages while running, rolled my ankle and snapped about 2-3 ligaments in my left foot, and it's caused me trouble ever since. Whew. Here we go, Scott Hill. There's the view, and I have to say this is very low wind levels compared to what it's normally like up here. Most of the time I'm up here and it feels like it's blowing a gale. I lost a hat here about 5 years ago. There's a video over my main channel. I think it's called the Scott Hill Disaster, and it's I came up here, I ran up here, and the wind was blowing from inland, blew my hat off, disappeared that way. Initially I went to look at it and then realized there's a cliff over there. Never saw it again. Every time I come up here I remember that, and I still feel bad about losing that wee hat. I've got this with me. This is the DJI Flip. It is it's a mini drone that can fly autonomously. So you can fly this with a controller, but also you can set it up so it automatically flies and follows you without needing any controller at all. And you can fly it with just your phone for about 50 meters or so. So yeah, still figuring out what I think about it. It doesn't perform super well in wind though. Well, that was embarrassing. I was standing up there shouting to myself, and I looked down and there's some poor guy having a nap. I woke up. It's Dave here. David.
What? Nap? He rubs his eyes. Yes, Stephen J. Reid appeared at the top of the hill, and I follow the channel. Like and subscribe. He's great. He's a crazy guy.
If you're gonna wreck anyone's afternoon nap, make sure they're subscribed.
Yeah, yes, that's fair. We'll call it quits there. It's random.
Go back to sleep. See ya. What are the odds? I've just spotted there's a farmer way up ahead. Looks like he's working on a fence. I wonder, should I try and talk to him? See if I can get permission to camp up here. I'll see. It might be one of those situations. It's much easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Another style. Have you ever noticed that outdoor YouTubers have an obsession with showing you footage of them crossing styles? I think the reason for that is that they're one of the few, when you're out in a landscape like this, they're one of the few actual points of interest. I flip this camera around that way. There's not really that much to look at, is there? It's just, it's like an endless greeny yellow desert. From a distance, top of that other hill, I thought this was 3 people sitting. It looked like a tall person in the middle and 2 people sitting beside with insulated jackets on. It's a pile of fencing. Oh, we're about to come up on the other 3,000 to 4,000 year old object up here. This one's kind of funny. This is the Ballygilbert standing stone, and from the right angle it kind of looks exactly like a humongous mushroom. Let's just keep moving. I'm not sure exactly why that's up here, but I think it's been up here, I think, for 3,000 to 5,000 years. My best guess is that in the age before spray paint and Sharpie markers, it was put there by some Neolithic teenagers. There's the farmer up ahead with his fencing machine. Do we risk having a chat? Well, that wasn't the farmer. That guy is a full-time fencing contractor. That's all he does, goes about putting fences in. That's quite the specialism, and he's out in all kinds of crazy weather. So, not the person I need to speak to. So, unless we bump into any more farmers, my next destination is way over that way. The trail goes this way and loops back around the Black Hill. I'm curious as to what's over that edge. You can't really see, it sort of drops off, and I'm gonna go over and have a look. And here's the crazy thing. See what I'm doing right now? This is no longer legal. I don't have a legal right to step off that trail, which is just ridiculous. You're supposed to stay to the trail unless you got like no choice. You only have the right to walk on that one defined route. And for me to step off, I'm now violating the permission that's been granted for that trail. That's how restrictive our outdoor access is here. Now, whether or not a landowner is actually going to care is another thing, but yeah, technically, I'm not supposed to be doing this. There he goes. Okay, there was nothing of any interest over here. Let's just get to the top of Black Hill, then we can turn around. Watch this, boys. I found something interesting. This here, look. That looks a bit man-made, doesn't it? It does. Ooh, that's a fun trip hazard. Oh no. You might not believe this, but in this backpack, which weighs about 5 kilos, I've got a tent, I've got a mat, I've got a sleeping bag, I've got a down jacket, I've got a cook set. Here's the tent. This is the Durston X-Mid, no. Well done, Stephen. This is the Durston X-Mid Pro 1. It's a trekking pole tent that weighs 440 grams. To pitch it, you put 4 stakes in the 4 corners, insert 2 trekking poles, and that's it. Look at that. That is a nice looking tent. This is the ultralight version of the tent that I used to do the West Highland Way last year. It's made of DCF, which is Dyneema composite fabric. It's the toughest fiber in existence, which makes it very, very light, very, very strong, and incredibly expensive. And last year I thought about getting this version, but I ruled it out because it's single skin. A lot of people say, well, in this climate, it's going to be really prone to condensation. And then I saw some people who own one of these who've said, actually, you know what, the condensation isn't anything to be worried about. So I wanted to test it for myself. I don't like to take anybody's word for anything. So that's kind of why I bought it. And if I hate it, I can probably sell it for what I paid for it, because I imported it from Canada. If you buy one of these in the UK, you'll pay about £150 more than what I paid for it, which was around 700. So not a cheap bit of kit, but I thought I would this is the kind of thing I want to do with my running more. Stop up every now and then, have a brew. I've got a little cup with me, I've got a little tiny alcohol stove. I'm gonna make myself a cup of coffee. much this did need? Not very much. I do also have a camping mat and a sleeping bag with me. I'm not going to use them now. I brought them just to see what the weight was like when I had everything fully packed up. It's like this. Put that on. This is what I love about alcohol stoves. Do you hear that? Exactly. They are totally silent, which means they don't disturb the peace. Whereas a gas stove, when you switch it on, it's this is just quiet and peaceful. This tint is practically see-through. In fact, it is see-through. This year, I'm hoping to use lightweight tints like this one, and possibly one other one I have, which is a bit more stealthy than this, to do some multi-day trails, like turn running into an adventure. I've talked about this previously. This is me investing in some kit to do it, but it costs a fortune to do proper ultralight camping. I mean, my intention is to get my kit that I'm carrying on multi-day down to about, as close as I can get, to about 6 to 7 kilos. And yeah, there's no cheap way of doing that. Is the downside. Oh, that sun is so nice. It's like a little greenhouse in here because this is so transparent. It's so warm. But the good thing with this tent is it's got, oh, I didn't peg that in on my side. It's got dual vestibules, so I can lift that up. Hang on. Hold that with ease. So they get too warm, I can just open that up and let in a breeze. Very nice. Lovely, Stephen. Alright. That's me packed up. Had a nice little 30 minutes there. I just sat quietly, and looked at the view. So I'm going to put the camera away now. Enjoy my couple of runs back to the van. I'll catch you in the next video, in which I have no idea. You're just gonna have to find out, really. Oh yes, ask me questions. One of the things I want to do with this channel is answer questions. So put the questions in the comments, and then maybe I'll do like a video per question. Yeah, if you have questions. If you don't have questions, I'm just gonna have to keep doing random stuff.